This is the Bass Forecast bait breakdown for the spinnerbait. In this short video, we're going to cover these 5 topics: key features, top tips, matching forage, rod, reel, and line, and hook set. Let's start with the key features. The components of a spinnerbait. What is this thing made of? The structure is built upon a metal piece of wire shaped in a V shape with a line tie area up at the top. One side of the wire leads to a metal molded head with a skirt material and usually some kind of beefier style hook, and the top side of the wire leads to an assortment of metal blades to add flash and vibration. Now, the heavier the head is, the more it's designed for deeper fishing, keeping it closer to the bottom, and vice versa. Lighter head for faster fishing up high in the water column. But if you're looking for an all-around good spinnerbait weight, I would go with a 1/2 ounce. Now, the blade selection on a spinnerbait can get very complicated very quickly, so here's how to keep it simple. You've got willow leaf, Indiana, and Colorado. And most spinnerbaits range from sizes 1 to 6, with the bigger spinnerbait blade being on the top, or both of them being even, like this spinnerbait. If you want your spinnerbait to swim extra slow, have more drag in the water like you would in cold or dirty water, you're gonna wanna up your spinnerbait blade size to some big Colorado type blades. But if the water you're fishing is cold or clear, you might wanna speed up your retrieve, keep it higher in the column, which necessitates smaller blades, usually willow leaf or Indiana. Now folks, the retrieval on a spinnerbait is so simple. You wanna start by making a long cast over a flat or a short cast to an isolated piece of cover, and then start your straight retrieve. I'm talking reel the handle at a constant speed, or you can reel it and then speed it up and stop it. Called a stop and go retrieve, just like this. Sometimes your bass are gonna want it retrieved a certain way one day and a totally different way the next day, so make sure you're testing it out on your body of water, but I would say you start with the Bass Forecast recommended retrieval speed and then adjust from there. And now for location. A spinnerbait can work in any conditions. It can work in open water, it can work in shallow cover. It's a one-size-fits-all lure and catches bass everywhere. But I would start with the Bass Forecast recommended location for today, and if you don't find success there, try it elsewhere. Now when it comes to the retrieve depth in the water column, it all depends on where the fish are on your body of water on that day, which you've got to figure out. So start by making a cast out there and retrieving right when it hits the water. That's going to keep your bait high up in the water column. If that doesn't work, let it sink halfway down the column and start your retrieve, and then all the way to the bottom, slow rolling it, because you want to find where the fish are sitting, because if you're not around the fish, you're not going to catch the fish. And lastly, if it's cloudy or windy, try starting with a faster retrieve and a lighter spinnerbait, and if it's calm and sunny, maybe go with a heavier spinnerbait, slow rolled across the bottom. Now, spinnerbaits come in all kinds of colors, but the only ones that I focus on are the ones that imitate baitfish or bluegill, because those are the only 2 prey species that most bass eat that can move fast. So for baitfish, minnow, and shad imitations, any kind of white, gray, a little bit of chartreuse mixed in can work fantastic. And for bluegill, I like to put even more chartreuse and maybe some green pumpkin. Keep it super simple, but find the color that works for you. Now, the great thing about a spinnerbait is that it is so easy to work that you don't necessarily need any specific rod or reel combo to find success. But we recommend a bait casting rod of at least 7 foot in length, 15-pound fluorocarbon or monofilament line, and a reel that's in the 6s to 7s in terms of gear ratio. Now, because a spinnerbait is moving towards you as you get that bite, most often a bass is going to hook themselves, and so there's no need for any kind of aggressive, strong hook set. All you need is a simple sweep of the rod, and as long as you keep the pressure on the line, you're gonna find yourself catching a ton of the bites you get. We hope this video gave you more confidence in using a spinnerbait so you can adapt to the conditions and catch more bass. My name's Tyler, and we'll see you guys out on the water.